Hi, my name is Colin Cairn, and the topic I've chose today is liability issues and disaster. This is for PAD 4391, Foundations in Emergency Management. First, let's start off with some definitions. A disaster is a sudden event that seriously disrupts the functioning of a community or society and causes human, material, and economic or environmental losses that exceed the community's or society's ability to cope using its own resources, needing external help. Liability is the state of being responsible for something, especially by law, and liability in emergency management is finding of legal responsibility for an act or failure to act regularly arise during emergency response situations. Individuals, government employees, volunteers, and healthcare professionals, as well as entities such as businesses and nonprofit organizations, stress the potential liability for their actions. There are many different types of disasters, some of which are hurricanes, floodings, earthquakes, wildfires, blizzards, and tornadoes. In the top left, as of last week, multiple tornadoes hit the state of Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. It left 23 people dead and multiple others injured, hundreds without power, water, or homes. The other photo shown is a Category 5 hurricane that hit the city of New Orleans in 2005. It's responsible for 1,800 deaths and the relocation of over 800,000 residents. The four elements of liability. The first is duty. Duty comes from laws and guidelines to establish responsibility of conduct. Breach of duty. Actions that fail to meet the standard of conduct. Causation. The connection between breach of duty and injury or damages inflicted. Damages. The results of actions that cause harm or destruction. Failures that occur in emergency management. Communication breakdowns. The failure to effectively exchange information between governing bodies and authorities. A good example of this is Hurricane Hugo. Hurricane Hugo struck the Caribbeans, South Carolina, and North Carolina in the 1990s. The local level was looking for answers from the federal level, while the federal level was looking for more information from the state and local authorities. This resulted in an extremely confusing emergency response plan and ultimately became a huge governmental failure. Another failure that occurs in emergency management is failure to assess risks. The process to identify potential hazards and analyze what could happen if a disaster were to occur. A great example of this is Hurricane Katrina. New Orleans mayor delayed issuing a mandatory evacuation of the city till 24 hours before the storm hit, even though it was clear that Hurricane Katrina was a storm that would exceed the city's capabilities. Not allowing people to effectively get out of the city and the magnitude of the storm led to extreme amount of flooding and amounted to more deaths and injuries than it should have if properly assessed. And here are some of my references.